then, so we all should know that Yachiru Unohana has reclaimed the title as the best character in the game, just like she did at the end of 2019. This time though, of course, since it's been many years, it's for different reasons, but Yachiru is an absolute beast, especially when you can actually take it into Guild Quest, which is what we are doing in today's video. And this team, which I think we might have showcased something very similar on the channel already, is the best team to use with Yachiru Unohana to get the highest score possible. I'm pretty sure the world record run, which I have no idea what the exact number is, but it's definitely close to what I've already gotten, is with this particular team. And the team works out really cool. And the funny thing is that this team shouldn't be possible if it wasn't for a bug with Akon. So of course, Yachiru is the character we are using for today. We are fortunate enough to have a max transcendent, and even 1 out of 5, to be fair, this team does actually work, since the team is all based around buffing Yachiru, and she herself already does so much damage to begin with, right? But these are the extensions that we are using, which is buffing up her SP as much as possible. With that, I've given her my 3 best links that give her recharge and also extra damage with the most amount of SP possible. In this case, we're getting almost 1,600 SP from the links alone. She, of course, is max transcended with full stamina and also SP as bonus abilities. Now, having a look at the team. So, the reason why I said this team almost shouldn't work for the most part is because, remember, Akon, for those that weren't aware, it shouldn't be like this. He was bugged on release, giving every speed character 20% more strong attack damage. That was not intended, but instead of removing it and therefore having to refund anyone that summoned, they just gave the character the extra skill. So in this case, he has 2 skills that are buffing our speed characters, aka Yachiru. So in this case, a 20% strong attack damage team buff, and also 40% more damage, this time to only speed swipers, to any enemy they attack that is inflicted with an ailment. In this case, we will be applying weakening. So essentially, right here from Akon alone, we're getting a 60% damage increase, and that is noteworthy, especially with how much damage Yachiru already does. And then our second character is going to be Shinji, and again, keep in mind, these 2 characters do not do any damage. We're giving them chappies just to keep them alive, it doesn't really matter. But in Shinji's case, he does have a debuff attack, which lowers their attack, focus, and defense by 33%, allowing us to hit that extra bit harder. But alongside that, he also does give speed attribute captains 20% more damage, and of course, Yachiru herself is a captain. Now, keep in mind, these do actually stack this strong attack damage team buff and also Akon's strong attack damage team buff. Since they're buffing different things, Akon's buffing just speed characters, Shinji's buffing captains, they both work on Yachiru. If they were both buffing speed characters and only speed characters, it would be a different situation. Yachiru wouldn't then get the 40% extra strong attack damage. But because they're buffing different aspects of her, one's doing affiliation, one's doing attribute, they both work to overall just give Yachiru significantly more damage. And it's with that extra damage that we're able to get a very fast clear time in the very hard guild quests. Alright then, so jumping into the runs, what you're about to see now is some failed attempts to show you that sometimes these runs don't go as planned, right? And now, especially with this particular team, is with Yachiru, while she can do a lot of damage, she is the only character in our team doing damage, right? I've given Akon and Shinji chappies just to keep them alive. I probably should give them SB items, but for the most part, it really doesn't matter. They don't have killer. They're not doing any damage anyway. But the team layout works like this. We're going to use our SA3 right away to hopefully inflict the stats element. Since we do have the SA3 trap effect, it should apply weakening. That then allows us to do significantly more damage to that weakened enemy, but also it does give us the SP boost. After using our SA3, we can then use our SA1 to take down the first boss. Into the second boss, and this is probably the more difficult part. It's really RNG dependent once more if we do inflict a stasment, but since we did kill the first boss so fast, the trap SA3 is still there, and if I position it correctly, Sergeant should spawn in or get weakened almost instantaneously. And with that, we then have to use 2 strong attacks to take down Sergeant. The third boss is definitely the easiest boss to tackle here, since at this point we're just using our Soul Bomb. None of our strong attacks are back. So using our Soul Bomb into an SA1 or SA2 does take down Shunsui, although in my case, using the SA1 isn't good enough. Sometimes it kills, sometimes it doesn't. And that's where, you know, your links come in play here. You need to have good links to get a fast clear time like this. Most of my runs, though, unfortunately, I have to use my SA1 and also SA2. But my SA2, in sometimes, depending on how the previous rounds did go, if my SA2 is back, the SA2, after using the Soul Bomb, does actually take down Shunsui, and that's enough for the third boss. Then, going into the fourth boss, in this case, since the fourth boss is a power character, it's the easiest boss possible. And since we just used our Soul Bomb on the previous boss, now we should have our SA3 ready to go. And if we use the SA3 in the correct position and we do apply weakening while the attack is actually going off, which does again happen more often than not, that SA3 alone is basically enough to nuke the entire fourth wave, which is like 20+ million damage. It's absolutely insane. That then takes us into the final stage, the final boss, that being Kipachi. With the weakening trap laid on the floor, it would have literally just gone down, and we should have 2 strong attacks to follow up. And with that, we need to attack Kenny while he is weakened. And with those 2 attacks, we should have enough damage to take down Kipachi. And with that, that's basically how you get a 20-second run, which technically is around 10 or so seconds, since you do spend 10 seconds waiting for the next wave to actually start. But having a full look at the run itself, and keep in mind, these were not perfect. One thing to keep in mind too is that Shinji's debuff definitely does help us out here, and preferably, we want him to use the debuff on the second boss, Sergeant, or the third boss, or fifth boss even. Anytime he uses it against those, the run is actually looking pretty good. Because you can see here, when we do use our SA1, Shunsui doesn't go down. That does cost us like a second or so. Luckily, SA3 does take down the 4th boss, and in this case, super unfortunate, I used my SA1, about to use my SA2 right after, but during that time frame of not using my SA2, we get hit. And unfortunately, that meant we then had to use our SA1 to finish up the quest, and that was therefore a 47-second run, which realistically could have been around 49 seconds. My second attempt though, my second run that I do want to show, which is super heartbreaking, again, we do the same strat. We use our SA3 to take down the first boss, follow up with the SA1, Sergeant then gets weakened, we use our SA2, he continues to get weakened, so we use our SA1. I think, yeah, right now we use our Soul Bomb. Shinji used the debuff at a perfect time, so we take down Shunsui with 2 strong attacks, or just 1 strong attack, really. 4th boss goes down with 1 attack, and look at that. We then use our SA1, and the boss had a sliver of HP left. I don't even know how that's possible. I feel like that was just dirty on my behalf. Caleb just did not want me to get the run. And if you freeze frame it, that would have been a 10-second run. It would have been 50 seconds. And I have yet to get the 50-second run, unfortunately, so I can't show that in the video. But you saw the breakdown of the team. Nothing's really different with how I played my strong attacks. I did that run perfectly. It just, for some reason, wasn't enough damage. One way I could improve this run is make my links better. One character I have been trying to work on in replacement of Kakao Saiti Momo is second anniversary Ichigo, because he is a 25% strong attack damage link, and that would have been really good and might have been the extra push we needed to finish up that final boss with just 1 strong attack. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the perfect run for today's video, but it does get the point across. This is the team that I know a lot of people are using to get the fastest clear time possible in Guild Quest, as we are currently in the very hard difficulty. Yachiru, as we all know, is an absolute beast, and she gets even better, and she's more fortunate enough actually being a speed captain, because she has access to some of the best damage boosters in the game, one of them again being Akon, which is a character that was made by mistake in a sense, because remember, he wasn't supposed to buff a character's strong attack damage by 20%. But he does. So I guess it's just a fortunate coincidence that a team like this actually can exist, and it's been doing really, really good. This is the exact team that I've basically been using in 2 weeks of Guild Quest, melee captain and also melee Soriba. And the great thing is, it only requires 1 character being actually invested in, that being Yachiru, because Akon and also Shinji's damage literally does not matter. We gave them chappies. But either way, that was the video for today, going over my Guild Quest team, the best team in the game as far as clear time goes in Guild Quest content. Hope you liked and enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.